Welcome back, everybody, to another Digital Gate Studios production. Jacob is back in the hot seat. What do you got?
Up, everybody? We're going to be talking about one of my all-time favorite decks that I like playing a lot. That's going to be the Minerva Loop with some of the new updated stuff. I'm kind of really glad you were here because I don't know, longtime fans of the channel, you'll remember we used to kind of try to do gameplay videos.
Yeah.
And this is one that Jesse still brings back memories of.
Yeah. It's a lot of post-processing on the end, yeah.
But this list is something I started considering as soon as I saw EX5 spoilers. Everyone was kind of focused on Anubis and stuff, and I didn't even make it that far in the spoilers. I saw Cerberus X Antibody, and I was like, I have to rebuild this.
Yeah.
And I played this at the latest Ultimate Cup. I online played this deck, and I had a lot of fun, a little bit of success, but...
I'm sure you surprised some people with it.
I definitely caught some people off guard, and it was a good time. And the deck only gets better in the future, and we'll talk about why later.
Sure.
Without any further ado, let's get into what we got.
Cool.
Starting off with our eggs, tried and true classic of Demimera at 4.
Okay, still rocking the OG.
Still rocking the OG. We do have 5th egg of one of the new Demimera.
Okay.
You could go either way on this. Ideally, you want to be pitching your level 5s anyway and some of your 6s. However, just the turn 1, turn 2 consistency, you want this one first is why I'm kind of sticking it at the 4 of.
Sure.
Because if you don't have a second level 5 to discard, usually you will. It's just more consistent on that aspect as where the extra card you get off the new one is nice. I just think that the consistency on that turn 1's a little bit more value.
Makes sense.
So let's talk about some rookies. Ignitemon is just a fantastic card we've seen in a lot of deck profiles lately, and it's kind of foreshadowing for stuff that's in this deck. If you've seen our old list for this, you'll know kind of what direction we're going, but the Inheritable and the Wind Attacking both come up. Going with that, we have 2 of the EX5 Labramon.
Oh, okay.
Very similar Inheritable. This one's going to be your turn, not an all turns, which is a little bit worse, but virtually the same most of the time.
Okay.
It also has an on play of you can trash a card, grab a Dark Animal or a Shaman, and that's almost every Digimon in the deck, so that goes a long way. We have 1 copy of our Rush Guilmon.
Oh, okay.
You will hit 20 cards in trash on your own by the time you're ready for this, and it also includes your opponent's trash anyway. So this is a very easy, just small body level 3 with Rush. It's really the only option we have in purple.
Sure.
Then we have a little bit of a floodgate package. We're doing 2 Psych, 1 Ghazi.
Okay.
These ratios can swap depending on your meta, your preference, or what you're worried about for regional. When I played this in the Ultimate Cup, I was only doing 1 Labyrinth, 3 Psych because it was a Anubismon format and Apocalypse. So definitely strong cards. If you want to focus more on your own combos, just go up in Labramons for the memory gain. Honorable mention for Goblimon, you do trash cards from your hand. Moving on for level 4s, this is kind of new for this deck, is the Dobermon.
Yeah, I remember that card.
Love this card's on deletion.
That's EX2?
EX2, old card. Love the art.
Yeah.
The on deletion's really nice. We're not always getting it, unfortunately, but we need this card because of its name, so we can use our Dober X's efficiently.
Yeah, there it is.
This card is fantastic for, it plays, it gets the retail, which means it'll have Rush Blocker from the Merva that we're obviously playing. So it's already a fantastic card, plus the draw trash and the memory efficiency, being able to, Dober into Dober X, get some cards back. The reason I'm saying this deck gets better is we're getting a new Dobermon in BT16.
Okay.
And it actually has a pretty good inheritable of when you play something, draw a card, which is going to go a long way compared to right now. It's almost just a vanilla. Rounding out our level 4 slots, we have 2 Saberdramon.
Can't leave home without that in purple.
Can't miss this card. It's a fantastic card for any deck that plays level 4s for free. We also have 1 Black Gato Uber. These 2, you can kind of swap between which one's your 2, which one's your 1, depending on how scared you are of things like Leviamon.
Yeah.
Obviously, a not preferred matchup. It's not an auto lose per se, but it is very interesting.
Very tricky, yeah. A lot of triggers.
You're going to give them, without let's say we don't have this card, haven't seen it this game, they're going to be able to delete stuff. But we have a lot of value on our on deletions that it almost is worth it, and we'll talk about why in a little bit. Level 5s, can't go wrong with Cerberus and Cerberus Werewolf. So this is going to be a 3-2 split.
Okay, I got to ask you, how many times do you think you've re-sleeved those 5 cards?
A lot.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's see.
Put a lot of miles on those
I
cards.
played them in BT4 with Plutomon.
Yep.
I played them, yeah. And if these are the same pre-release ones I've had ever since.
Yeah, the OG pre-release
Yep.
cards. Yeah.
Not before they even made them foil.
Yep. They're just the gilded gold
Yep.
stamp. Yep.
These exact cards have been in, I think, 4 videos of ours now.
Probably.
More
Yeah.
to come. We're also getting in BT16 another Cerberus, which will probably replace this finally.
Oh, you have to put it in the rafters, retire it.
Still a fantastic card. Its on deletion is better,
Mm-hmm.
but the new one has an on play of giving something rush, which is
Ooh,
really good.
That's always good.
And inheritable of giving something rush when it's played by an effect. So it's going to make a big difference for this deck. Big
Yeah.
splash. Another new addition, and the whole reason this deck kind of came back to my mind to begin with. That's going to be Cerberus X Antibody.
Okay.
Fantastic card. Everyone knows Dober X. Maybe not everyone knows this one.
Mm-hmm.
This one's going to be the same. Draw 1, trash 1 when digivolving. And then if there's a Cerberus in its sources, you get to play a level 3 without paying its cost.
Oh,
and
cool.
We do get on plays because of things known as power creep.
Yeah.
Additionally, this can go on either Cerberus. So it's kind of more of a 5-3 if you're looking at it that way.
Oh, okay.
And it's inheritable. When attacking, you can delete one of your Digimon to unsuspend. So you can get a lot of fun stuff going with that.
Sweet.
Talking about the lady herself, we got 3 copies of our Minervamon.
Okay. So I think a lot of people won't know. I mean, everyone knows what Minervamon
Yeah,
does,
yeah.
but what does Minervamon do again?
All right, so this is Retaliation on Face, which is really good with Mervamon paired with it because people don't expect this to also be a blocker.
Yep.
Opponent's turn, when your opponent plays a Digimon, you get to play a level 4 or lower, but you do not get on play effects for that Digimon. However, if you play something like a Saberdramon, that's very threatening to them on there when it gets back to your turn. The other thing with this gets kind of weird against Levia, is they play something, you get to play something, then they Levia, and they delete this without thinking about what its deletion trigger is.
Yeah.
So on deletion of Minervamon, if your opponent has 2 or less Digimon, which gets kind of wonky, but we have ways of trying to make sure that happens.
But Levy always does.
Yep, they're trying to have less than you, so this
Yeah.
always triggers. That's going to be on deletion. If your opponent has 2 or less Digimon, play a level 5 or lower purple Digimon, or a Mervamon without paying cost. So we're playing 2 Mervamons. Doesn't seem like a lot, but
It's a purple deck. You cycle the whole damn thing.
You go through your whole deck. There's a lot of draw trash, especially with the Cerberus engine, and so we'll get to them. And everyone knows what Merva does, so we're not going to spend too long talking about it, but playing it for free from an on-deletion effect.
Yeah.
And then if you get the Digi-Cross, you still play 2 bodies, even though you paid 0 for the cost because you didn't pay a cost.
Yep.
You still gain 1 off of that. So if they levy on their turn because you played something and delete this, you're just going to pop out a Merva and be in an even better spot.
Yeah.
Moving on, we're playing 1 copy of our Anubismon. Card is restricted, but fantastic.
Yeah.
What's really funny, and I got this going a lot at the regional, surprisingly, is you can still just Anubis Merva in this deck.
Mm-hmm.
And you still have plenty of the same level 4 lineup. The only difference is your memory efficiency getting into your level 6 isn't focused on the draw trash like it is in the Anubis list.
Yeah.
But if you're going against a full power Anubis before it was restricted, with this deck, I would always be at most 1 turn behind. And that would be whether I'm going for my line or if I'm trying to play theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Additionally, going against Anubis, you can always go Anubis Merva double psych, but obviously Anubis is gone now.
Yeah.
I think this is one of the best options to kind of supplement that if you enjoyed that deck, not just playing it because it was good. Definitely give this a shot because you still have similar lines that you can do, but you have so much more coming, kind of a throwback combo with these cards.
Sweet.
We do have room for 1 Death X.
There's always room for 1 death.
Always room for 1. We are not playing the Ruin mode, so that's nice
There
for
you go.
everyone's wallet. If you can't get these, people always ask for replacements. Avenge Kid is a good card for this deck, believe it or not.
That makes sense.
We are pretty heavy on options.
Yeah, you got a lot of cards left in that
Yep.
hand. Yep.
And I actually played Avenge Kid in that Ultimate Cup. I beat 1 Beelstar player with it, obviously. Fantastic card. You see it, you win in that matchup. And it was good against, the mill decks at the time. But you go through your deck a lot in this deck. It was definitely stable before, not as needed now. It's going to be it for Digimon. So for Tamers, 4 Analog Youth.
There's your trash.
Sets up trash, sets up cards in hand. And I mean, the whole point of this deck is get to Minerva and delete it. So gaining memory back extends combos pretty hard. We talked about a lot of draw trash, so we do have 1 copy of Matt.
I love that card.
Fantastic card. Great 3-setter. Probably the best 3-setter.
Purple has ever
In my
had.
opinion, it's the best in the game. I'm gonna
It's
be
pretty
real.
close, yeah. I mean, it definitely just power crept out the other one that let you grab stuff.
So they're right now the best 3-setters, are either hand advantage like Davis or consistent memory gain like this. This is a 3-setter that can gain you a memory every single turn, whether it's your turn or opponent's.
There's not a lot of 3-setters in the game that actually gain you additional memory aside from the setting to 3.
His second effect will gain you 4 or 5 memory a game if it goes long enough.
Yep.
I'm gonna scoot these over. We need a little more room.
Got to give room for those options.
We have a lot of things to talk about. First new addition to the deck, other than the X-antibody stuff, really, is going to be the Wisdom trainings.
Yeah.
This deck, you don't really want to blind mill, and you don't need to dig too deep. Almost everything is purple, with exception of basically just Analog Youth.
Mm-hmm.
So consistency is really good, and it's really helpful to be able to push out your level 4, your level 5, and build stacks from there, because before this came out, that was kind of one of the things holding this deck back severely, was being able to kind of push out a level 4, level 5, and get into your 6.
Yeah.
Once you're in a 6 and your trash is set up, the deck goes, and it goes hard and fast. And Wisdom trainings are definitely a big help for that.
Okay.
We got 3 copies of Revive from Darkness. This card is delete one of your Digimon to play a level 5. Do not activate on plays. The reason this card is in here is for the classic Minerva Loop. This started on Minerva's release.
Yeah.
Because you would delete her, play a Cerberus with the option, then resolve her own deletion to play a Cerberus Werewolf. And by paying 4, you're gaining 9 memory because of his on play deleting the Cerberus.
Yep.
And it has Rush. So it's an extra attack and a net gain of 5, which is huge, plus any Analog Youths you had. So additionally, if you already have 4 memory, you can just play out this for Rush and play a Merva with her on deletion, get 2 more bodies, have 4 Rush swings for just 4 memory, which is pretty good.
Your turns are so long on that.
Turns are very long. It's not quite an OTK, but it's borderline there, because worst case scenario, you have so many ways of playing bodies, getting a couple checks, and then just sticking Merva with 2 blockers and passing with just a little bit of memory on their side. And if you got your Psychmons, they can't Death X. If you got,
Yeah.
So
You can easily overwhelm them with
very much so.
with a big board.
Couple extra options we got. I don't know where to put these.
That's fine.
2 Death Claws.
Sure.
This is delete one of your Digimon, delete an opponent's level 4. The reason this is really good is floodgates are something that kind of hold the deck back, especially
It's 4 or
ones like
lower, right?
Omu. Yeah, this is 4 or lower.
Okay.
So you're going to remove blockers, you're going to remove floodgates, or if they just have 3 Digimon, you're going to kill whatever you can. That way your Minerva can trigger, because you resolve one option full or one effect fully. You're going to delete your Minerva, delete one of their bodies, then you check if there's 2 or fewer.
Yeah.
At that time, if there is, then you get to do your thing.
And deleting level 4s is stronger than ever with all those pesky aces running around.
Yeah, so if you're going to Digivolve your Minerva, they're going to be like, what does that card do? Because they don't know. So you'll read them a card, and they'll be like, okay, have 2 or more, or have more than 2 Digimon. Got it. So they're just going to play a couple rookies, and delete mine, delete yours. Now I get to play my deck anyway.
I love it.
Similar effect to that is 1 Pandemonium Flame.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of lists historically were just run more Death Claws. I find Pandemonium Flame to be a better card as a one-of, because it's delete one of yours to delete a same or less level that is unsuspended. Unsuspended's kind of tricky, but I mean, if they're sitting on a blocker or a floodgate, most of the time they're not going to suspend it anyway, because you just punch it. And with how much retail you have, they're going to keep some bodies unless if they're scared about losing them. Additionally, things like if they get their one of Anubismon or their Merva, they're going to be unsuspended. So you can delete those to get back to that, either clear a threat or get to your 2 or less Digimon. It's also good for things like Death X. If you have yours, you could trade them.
Makes sense.
And of course, one calling wouldn't be a purple deck without it.
Like it's got to be in there.
It's just one more way of deleting your own stack, as well as getting back your important pieces. That's your Death X, that's your Merva if you ever want to just hard play it, which you can, because you do gain a lot of memory in this deck just with the Revive combo.
Yeah.
And the deck goes pretty fast once you get it set up.
It goes crazy. Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. Definitely give it a shot. Give it a shot.
Do you imagine if you had room for Jack Raid in there?
I had Jack Raid in this before the Apocalypse ban for the Ulti Cup I played.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it doesn't come up enough. It kind of clogs your hand. And with it, cutting out the Avenge Kid, wanted to cut down those options that I wasn't really using anyway.
Yeah.
So that's where I found room for the mat and
this list looks much tighter for sure.
Yeah, this is Jack Raid you don't need if everything's going well. And if it's not, I mean, training takes a better place in this deck than Jack Raid did, because Jack Raid in the early turns is completely useless because you don't have 10 in trash.
Right.
In security, it's really good because it shortens their turn. But with the way the deck tries to combo and kill, you would rather just be able to reduce the Digivolve cost.
And find your pieces.
Yep.
That makes sense, man. I can't wait to play against that a little bit more and see it in action. But
yep. And stay tuned for BT16. We'll be doing an update for this. Fantastic deck. Unfortunately, I don't have enough time to go over every little combo, but this deck always can do something, and there's so many different ways you can, play it, different routes to take.
We do have a gameplay version or a gameplay video of this. It's an older version, obviously, but if you want to see kind of the gist of how the deck works,
that was
and
before Merva came out.
These huge combo turns, you can see a demonstration there. So check out that video. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for joining us. Like, comment, subscribe, and have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, everyone.